On ACC Live Access, I go one-on-one with Virginia Tech's Eric Green. It even caught him by surprise to be the nation's leading scorer.
I honestly didn't even know I was in the top 5 until probably like a little later in the season, and one of my teammates told me.
Is Green the best point guard in the ACC? What about NC State's Lorenzo Brown, the Canes' Shane Larkin, or Duke's Quinn Cook? We get your take. Plus,
Logan keeps it up the middle. 10, 5, touchdown, Tech.
Logan Thomas says he's coming back. Hokie Nation celebrates. What does number 3 have to do in his senior season to be a top 3 pick next year? ACC Live Access now. I'm Jeff Fischel. Welcome to ACC Live Access. Access means every Wednesday we talk about the biggest names, past and present, in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Today, the nation's leading scorer, Virginia Tech's Eric Green. Not only is he great to watch on the court, he's great to talk to off the court, has some great things to say about when he heads to practice. That's his lab. That's what he calls it. We'll talk to him. He's also the subject of today's Twitter vote. Who's the best point guard in the ACC? Is it Eric Green? What about NC State's Lorenzo Brown? Duke's Quinn Cook? How about Miami's Shane Larkin? Tweet us at the ACCDN. Hashtag for the show, ACC Live. We are tallying all the votes. We'll have the results later in the show. Of course, more on Logan Thomas as well. He's staying at Virginia Tech for his senior season, how fans are reacting, and coaches as well. But first, let's talk about Logan Thomas's Virginia Tech classmate, the unstoppable Eric Green.
Here comes Green. Well, you can't guard that. You cannot guard that. He is as good as anybody in the country. What a weapon it is to have the leading scorer in the country. Wow. And if you're not impressed with Eric Green, holy mackerel.
The ACC has not had the nation's leading scorer since the 1956-57 season. But the ACC could have it this year with Eric Green. He joins me now. Eric, I know that probably wasn't the goal, but now that you're halfway there, we're halfway through the season, you're number 1. I'm thinking you probably want to end the year that way, right?
Yeah, I would love to end the year that way. I definitely would.
Was that goal when you started scoring more points? You realized, hey, I can be one of the top scorers in the country?
Honestly, nah. I honestly didn't even know I was in the top 5 until probably like a little later in the season, and one of my teammates told me. And from there, I got a chance to become number 1, and it's kind of been fun, you know, being number 1 scorer in the country.
Now, 2 years ago, you averaged about 11.5 a game. Then last year, it was 15.5. Now you're up near 25 points a game. What's been the key for you for developing your game offensively?
Just consistency. Always being in the gym, working on my game. You know, try to get in the gym at least 2 times a day, and also going through practice and just really trying to improve my game and try to prove, you know, different ways I come off screens, floaters, you know, my jump shot. So just staying in the gym and, you know, getting better every day. I think that's been a consistency for me, and keeping it going this season.
So you feel a difference in your jumper now? You're definitely more consistent?
I'm definitely more consistent and definitely more confident in my jump shot.
All right, now you're up for the Bob Cruzi Award, which goes to the nation's top point guard. Talk about the balance between being a scorer and trying to distribute as a point guard.
For me, I mean, I kind of feel like I do it at times where I feel like I can, you know, I definitely feel like I can distribute the ball and make plays for not only myself but for my teammates. And I know everybody's collapsing on me and giving my teammates some great kicking out, some great opportunities to make plays for themselves. But you know, it's not too hard to try to, you know, be a scorer and to distribute. I don't mind it, and I love making plays for not just myself but for others.
This season's been a series of adjustments for you guys. You started at 8-1, then you just got a win to break a 4-game losing streak. What kind of adjustments do you guys need to make to keep it rolling for the rest of the year?
We just got to keep getting better. We're finally gonna get Marshall Wood back, one of our other freshmen that came off a foot injury, and we just got to keep getting better, keep rebounding. We got shots, and we got to get stops on defense. You know, I think we're giving up a lot of points, and just get back to fundamental defense and just, you know, rebounding the ball.
We're talking to Eric Green. More coming up with him in just a minute, but first I want to get to some other ACC news. The big story, we now have the final list of early entrants for the NFL draft. Okay, maybe not the entire list. We're making sense of that. That's coming up. But it does not include Logan Thomas. Here's what's happening in the ACC now. I give credit to Thomas. He says he knows there are two things he needs to work on before he's ready for the NFL: accuracy and consistency, and that's why he's staying. It's hard to get a read on him, right? Because the rest of the offense was so inexperienced. He won't get that excuse next year, and he's not asking for an excuse. If he can cut down on turnovers and complete 60% of the passes, say, he will be a top 5 pick next year. 2012 was the year of the quarterback in the ACC, so what about next year? Also very strong. Taj Boyd, Tanner Price, Bryn Renner, Chase Reddick, Thomas, Stephen Morris, they are all back. And let's not forget, you have Anthony Boone, Phillip Sims, and Vad Lee. They saw a lot of action this past season. And of course, C.J. Brown. He returns for Maryland from a torn ACL. Really, only Florida State and NC State are starting from scratch at quarterback. Thomas's decision couldn't have made Hokie fans any happier, and his coaches too. Seeing some great comments on Twitter. Look at this from one of the assistants, Shane Beamer, the coach's son. Awesome day, Hokie Nation. We got a commitment from our top recruit for 2013. Now, some people misinterpreted this. They thought he meant he was recruiting out on the recruiting trail, and this is a dead period. But no, he's just talking about getting Logan Thomas back for his senior season. Thanks, LT. Chad Edwards is definitely fired up about the season opener. Of course, Virginia Tech opens the 2013 season with the national champs, Alabama. Logan Thomas coming back next year, trying to prove he is an elite guy. Won't have better stage to do it than in the opener versus Bama. Hokies fans fired up about that big game starting the season. And Brett tweeted this: so happy Logan Thomas is coming back for senior year. Expect big comeback for Beamer Ball in 2013, 2014, and probably he means beyond. Now remember, the Hokies went 7-6 this past season. That ended a streak for Virginia Tech of 8 straight 10-win seasons. One other ACC to the pros note: the curious case of David Amerson. Though there were a lot of reports, the NC State cornerback never officially announced he was going pro. We spoke to the school. He is not enrolled there. Several websites report that Amerson has gone pro, which I assume is true when you add it all up. But even the NFL.com's list of early draft entrants, it does not include Amerson. I spoke to former UNC and NFL star Dre Bly a few weeks ago. He said he thinks Amerson ends up as a safety in the NFL. Amerson broke Dre Bly's ACC interceptions record as a sophomore, but then had a disappointing junior season. Now, all of this mystery surrounding his draft decision, very, very peculiar. All right, let's move on. UVA's Olympic gold medal swimmer Lauren Purdue will be recognized on National Girls and Women in Sports Day. The school will honor her at the Virginia women's basketball game on February 3rd. Purdue was a part of the 4x200-meter freestyle relay that won gold in London last summer. North Carolina's Crystal Dunn getting more honors. She's been named Soccer America Women's Player of the Year. This comes just days after she won the other big national award, the Mac Hermann Trophy. Dunn is a midfielder for the national champion Tar Heels. She's a defender on the U.S. national team. Did you see Clemson's KJ Mcdaniels last night against Wake Forest? Clemson won 60-44. McDaniels was in full beast mode. Check him out last night for the Tigers. He earned our must-see moment. 2 great dunks.
Hall into the paint. Nice dump. And the foul. Big-time jam by KJ McDaniels. The look from Hall was picture perfect. He found KJ McDaniels for the flush and won this game, but the confidence and body language of Wake Forest really is just a struggle. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure there's a way to even describe this. He comes from nowhere, elevates, sits there for a second before he throws it down, and can't come down until the traffic clears underneath him.
Remember, you can catch must-see moments on the ACC Digital Network YouTube channel. By the way, McDaniels, 14 points, 9 rebounds. Devin Booker added 12 and 8. Clemson gets the win at North Carolina State on Sunday. That's the ACC now. Now for our Twitter question today. Who's the best point guard in the ACC? Tweet us at the ACCDN. Is it Shane Larkin, Lorenzo Brown, Quinn Cook? How about Eric Green? We are tallying the votes. The totals are coming up. Plus, I asked Eric Green about being the big man on campus and the time a little kid asked him for his autograph and insulted him at the same time.
I had this little kid walk up to me, and for a long time he said you'd never break 30. He said you're not good enough till you break 30. So I think that was probably the funniest one.
You can't keep greatness in a box, so we won't. The ACC Mobile App, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Imagine seeing this on this. That's greatness. For the ACC schools you live for, it's the app you can't live without. Available on your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Nokia Lumia Windows Phone. The ACC Mobile App. Live games, video, scores, stats, news, and greatness. Search ACC Sports on your mobile device.
Out with the old and in with the delicious. Commit to bold taste with the new Flavor Resolutions menu at Ruby Tuesday. 10 entrees starting at $9.99. Try our savory barbecue brushed ribs and bacon-wrapped shrimp. Or take it up a notch by adding coconut-crusted shrimp to our mango salsa-topped Caribbean chicken. Plus, enjoy our endless garden bar, free with any chef-inspired entree. Ruby Tuesday. It's all good here. Start the new year with savings. Visit rubytuesday.com today for a $5 coupon.
The ACC Digital Network, the ultimate video destination for ACC fans. Exclusive highlights, live streaming games, and original live programming, unique access to the student athletes of our time and the legendary voices of all time. Defining moments, personal stories, incredible analysis from authentic ACC sources, cutting-edge content from the leaders in the digital space. The ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.
Good afternoon, Chase Sapphire. This is Stacy from Springfield.
Oh, whoa.
Hello?
Yes, I didn't realize you'd be talking to an actual person.
You don't need to press 0. I'm here.
Reach a person, not a prompt, whenever you call Chase Sapphire.
Welcome back to ACC Live Access. Tonight's Ruby Tuesday menu featuring the two undefeated teams in the conference. Miami's playing Boston College. The Canes showing they will be fine without Reggie Johnson, who's out with a broken thumb. Big men Kenny Kaji, Julian Gamble, they've been great tonight. They battled BC's Ryan Anderson. The Canes and NC State both 3-0. The Wolfpack coming off the win over Duke, which knocked the Blue Devils from #1. Maryland has lost 2 straight after winning 13 in a row, so they battle tonight at 7 on ESPN2. Welcome back to ACC Live Access. Every Wednesday, Access means we give you access to the great names in the Atlantic Coast Conference. I'm Jeff Fischel. My Twitter handle, @JeffFischel. Makes sense, right? We're asking you who's the best point guard in the conference. Even Torrey Holt tweeted us with a vote. More on him coming up, but you should vote as well at the ACCDN. Is it Lo Brown, Shane Larkin, Quinn Cook, Eric Green? Which of these guys is the best floor general in the ACC? The final results are coming up. But 3 ACC players are in the top 10 in the country in some major categories. Let's look at them, and let's start with Duke's big man, Mason Plumlee. He's 5th in the country in rebounding, averaging 11.4 a game. And if you're rebounding and you're scoring, that means you're putting up double-doubles. He has 10 so far this season. That's 4th in the nation. Plumlee, arguably the player of the year right now in college basketball. How about Lorenzo Brown from North Carolina State? He can do it all. You know he can score. He rebounds so well for a guard, and he distributes extremely well. The NC State star averaging 7.1 assists a game. The kids like to say dimes. That's 9th in the country. And the man we're talking to today, Eric Green, #1 in scoring. He said it wasn't something he was giving much thought to, but in James Johnson's new up-tempo offense, he's thriving. I'd say nearly 25 points a game. That leads the nation, and who better to talk to than the leading scorer in the country? Back with Eric Green, the nation's leading scorer, the leader of the Virginia Tech Hokies. All right, let's do some quick Q&A with Eric Green. Eric, first thing, catch and shoot or off the dribble? What you prefer for the 3?
Off the dribble.
Off the dribble. How about, I know I've seen you on Twitter, you like to eat a lot, you like to eat out. What's your favorite place?
I just say cookout, man. I love getting cookout.
Now, I've also seen you like Chinese. Do you go with the fried rice or the steamed rice?
Fried rice with General Tao chicken.
There it is. I can't blame you. That's the exact same thing I would get. All right, now I know when you show up at like a women's basketball game, you get swarmed, lots of autographs. Anyone ever said something funny to you? Funniest story you've had while you've been signing autographs?
I had this little kid walk up to me, and for a long time he said you'd never break 30. He said you're not good enough till you break 30. So I think that was probably the funniest one.
A little kid insulting you. Now you just saw Zero Dark 30, right? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Nah, thumbs up. One of the best movies. Yes.
It was intense. Yeah. All right. Your favorite musical artist?
Drake.
Drake. And your favorite Drake song?
Over My Dead Body.
All right. Okay, I'm with you. Dream scenario, February 21st, Duke comes into Blacksburg. You guys are down by 1, final seconds. Give me the play-by-play.
Man, I say we pick and roll. make a play either for myself or I like to end out with a kick-out jump shot to one of my teammates and let the crowd storm the court and just have a great night from there.
Hey, last thing. I know you've tweeted out a picture of your little sister. Would she rather watch you play basketball games or would she rather watch SpongeBob?
I think she'd rather watch SpongeBob, to be honest.
It hurts a little bit, doesn't it?
It does. It definitely does.
Hey, a couple more things about this team. First of all, James Johnson's now the head coach. He was an assistant for you guys. How has he changed as a coach, and how's he doing, do you think, in his first year?
I think he's doing great. He brings to the team the energy he brings to the team. The guys love him. I think he kind of gets a little nervous before the games, and I think the excitement here, man, just doing a great job.
Now, Saturday, you guys are preparing for Wake Forest. Give me some keys to the game for the Hokies against the Demon Deacons.
They have a good player, C.J. Harris and Travis McKay, and we got to contain them too. We got to keep them off the boards and limit them in training. And we got to get out and play our game, get back out to running, and I think we'll be fine.
Eric Green, the Virginia Tech point guard, the top scorer in the country, leading the Virginia Tech Hokies against Wake Forest this Saturday. Eric, great talking to you. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man. Thank you.
All right, let's give you some breaking news right now. Your college football fans, you need to know this. Multiple reports that Chip Kelly will be leaving Oregon to become the new head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. That's right, Chip Kelly leaving Oregon, where he's built a dynasty with the Ducks, heading to the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, multiple reports saying perhaps one of the most imaginative offensive coaches in all of college football, perhaps ever, heading to the NFL, where potentially he could be the head coach with Michael Vick as his quarterback. Vick, a free agent, the former Virginia Tech star, could come back to the Eagles, and certainly you'd have to think Chip Kelly might like the idea of Michael Vick as his quarterback. But again, multiple reports saying Chip Kelly leaving Oregon to become the new head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now let's get back to Eric Green. We were talking about him. Great talking to him. The things I take away from it, he knows his Chinese food. He's a great guy, and I'm rooting for this guy to lead the nation in scoring. But is he your best point guard in the ACC? We've been asking you, who's the best? Our team has been calculating the results, which isn't easy because they only have 10 fingers. Here they are. Lorenzo Brown, number one, 54.5%. Then Eric Green and Shane Larkin, second and tied for second, each with 18%. And then Quinn Cook. Of course, Cook developing a reputation. This is really his first year as a leader for Duke. He's come out of nowhere. Even Coach K admits he wasn't sure what he'd get from Quinn Cook, but he's been very solid. But Lorenzo Brown is your best point guard in the ACC. Thanks for voting. We appreciate all the votes every day here on ACC Live. By the way, one of our voters, Torrey Holt, the former NC State and NFL star. I've got to tell you a story before we move on. Met Torrey Holt a few weeks ago at the Legends Dinner for the ACC. One thing I was struck by, in fact, every guy here at the ACC DN he's played so many games. You can't catch that many balls without playing hurt, right? And for him, the key is his hands and his fingers. You could tell he's busted one of his fingers multiple times, but played anyway. It is sticking out way sideways. It's a little disturbing, I have to admit. But, hey, the man's a Hall of Famer. He's that good. You play through pain, and he did that. All right, now let's look at what's on tap here on ACC Live, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday. Tomorrow, it's Throwback Thursday. We have the man who brought a national title to the Maryland Terrapins, Gary Williams. In fact, they appreciate him so much there, they've named a court after him. And before he became Vinsanity, a look back at the high-flying early days of North Carolina's Vince Carter. No one in his day, in that era, could dunk in college like Vince Carter. And then on Friday, tip-off with Mike Jaminski spotlighting BC's Ryan Anderson. He is quietly putting up numbers that are right up there with Mason Plumlee's. And that is all this week on ACC Live. Let's get to some closing notes. Before we go, it's a coaching edition in this case. Congrats to Clemson baseball coach Jack Leggett. He's been inducted into the American Baseball Coaches Association Hall of Fame. In 33 seasons as a head coach, he has over 1,200 wins, including 847 of them in his 19 years at Clemson. Leggett says it's a great honor, and this is a nice touch. He says he accepts on behalf of all the schools where he's been a coach. That's a classy move. And former Miami and NC State assistant Marc Trestman is now the new head coach of the Chicago Bears. Trestman's considered one of the great quarterback tutors around. The last few years, he's been a head coach in Canada, leading Montreal to 2 Grey Cups. Not only did Trestman coach at Miami, he also got his law degree there, so props to him for smarts. At NC State, he was offensive coordinator and actually led the Wolfpack in a bowl game after Chuck Amato was let go. That's it for ACC Live. Remember, you can follow us every day, our Twitter feed at the ACCDN. The hashtag for this show, ACC Live. Tomorrow, I talked to Gary Williams. They named a court after him and a look back at the start of Insanity. See you tomorrow.